Welcome to Cultural Lens, the podcast where we explore cultures from around the world and uncover the truths behind common misconceptions. Today, we're diving into Indonesia, a diverse and fascinating nation that is often misunderstood. From its customs to its cuisine, there are many misconceptions that shape how people perceive Indonesia. Joining me today to shed light on this topic is Abigail, a cultural expert from Indonesia. Welcome, Abigail.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm excited to be here. As someone from Indonesia, I've encountered many misconceptions firsthand, and today, we'll clarify some of the most pervasive myths and give a more accurate picture of Indonesia's rich culture and traditions.
Through this discussion, we aim to provide accurate insights into Indonesia's culture, traditions, and realities. Let's begin. One of the most common assumptions I've heard is that Indonesia is just one homogenous culture, with everyone following the same customs and traditions. Is that true?
Not at all. Indonesia is made up of over 17,000 islands and is home to more than 1,300 ethnic groups, each with its own customs, traditions, and languages. For example, the Balinese culture is quite distinct from that of the Javanese, or the Minangkabau. While Islam is the dominant religion, there are also significant populations of Christians, Hindus, and Buddhists, each contributing to Indonesia's cultural diversity.
That's fascinating. Another misconception I've come across is that Indonesian cuisine is just about fried rice or satay. What's the reality?
While dishes like nasi goreng fried rice and satay are internationally known, Indonesian cuisine is incredibly diverse. Each region has its own specialty. Sumatra is famous for rendang, a slow-cooked beef dish that was once named the world's best food by CNN. Meanwhile, Yogyakarta is known for gudeg, a sweet jackfruit stew. Indonesia's cuisine reflects its cultural diversity, with influences from India, China, the Middle East, and indigenous traditions.
We received some listener questions on cultural stereotypes. One listener asked, "Is it true that Bali represents all of Indonesia?"
Great question. Bali is one of Indonesia's most famous tourist destinations, but it's just one island among thousands. While Bali has a unique Hindu culture, much of Indonesia follows different traditions. For example, in Aceh, an autonomous province, Islamic law plays a significant role in daily life. Meanwhile, in Papua, indigenous communities maintain their traditional ways of living. Bali is beautiful, but it's just one piece of Indonesia's vast cultural mosaic.
That makes sense. Another listener asked, "Is Indonesia just a rural, developing country?"
That's another misconception. While Indonesia does have rural areas, it's also home to thriving urban centers like Jakarta, a megacity with a population of over 10 million. The country has a growing tech industry, with companies like Gojek and Tokopedia leading innovation in Southeast Asia. Indonesia is also part of the G20, highlighting its influence in the global economy. It's a nation of contrasts, with both modern skyscrapers and traditional villages coexisting.
Given these misconceptions, how can people learn more about Indonesia in a respectful and accurate way?
The best way is to engage directly with Indonesians, whether through travel, cultural exchange programs, or even social media. Consuming content from local sources, such as Indonesian filmmakers, authors, and historians, can also provide a more nuanced perspective. Additionally, it's important to recognize that no single story defines an entire nation. Ways seek out multiple perspectives.
That's a great point. Researching regional differences and speaking with locals can truly enrich our understanding. Today, we explored some common misconceptions about Indonesia, including its cultural diversity, cuisine, and economic development. We also discussed ways to approach cultural understanding with greater accuracy and respect.
Exactly. I hope this conversation has helped dispel some myths and encourage listeners to explore Indonesia's rich and varied cultures beyond stereotypes.
We invite you to reflect on your own perceptions of Indonesia and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. And don't forget to join us for our next episode, where we'll examine the cultural nuances of another fascinating country. Thanks for listening to Cultural Lens.